So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good wherever you guys are. So guys, um, Errol Spence v Terence Crawford, massive news. It's been made July 29th. It looks like the Tank Ryan Garcia fight was the break of the camel's back, where it seems like the promoters have realized that these big fights have to happen. And you know what? It's a long time coming. It's a long time coming, but it's a fight that is well overdue. And I think it's happening at a very good time. You know, both these guys have been so inactive and they've not been fighting regular, to be honest with you. And I think they should be fighting a lot more regular than what they've given us. But unfortunately, we haven't seen these guys on a regular basis. And I'm glad that we're finally going to see Terence Crawford v Errol Spence. It's a great fight, honestly. And by the way, don't ask me who's going to win this fight because I don't have a clue. That they've both been so inactive. They've both been so like you just don't know. You just don't know. Errol Spence has gone through a lot in the last 4 or 5 years of his life. You know, he survived that accident and then he obviously came back and had some good performances after that. Good performance, and then he fought. Then he had another injury. Manny Pacquiao fight got cancelled. He had an eye injury, and then he came back from that and fought Ugas and beat the crap out of Ugas. So you know, Errol Spence is a bit of a funny character, really. You know, he's been defying the odds. A lot of people thought that when he came back against this car crash that's his career done. Then when he came back from that injury, people said, nah, Ugas might even beat him here. You know, Ugas is alive, but he battered Ugas. So Errol Spence is a bit of a freak, and Terence Crawford is just Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is a guy that I think he's underappreciated. I think he's a guy that's not been very active, but this man has talent. This man has ridiculous talent. He's an unbelievable talent, and I think the boxing world, before everybody used to say Terence Crawford is overrated, Spence is over. They used to say all kinds of crap, especially with Crawford. But now these guys have become so inactive, so irrelevant that people don't even mention their names as much anymore. And it's glad that now they're probably they're gonna be mentioned because they're gonna be fighting one another. And it's just great news. It's great news. I think this is the best news that we could hear in boxing because both these guys are too good to be sitting on the shelf. Both these guys are too good to be not fighting. I think these two should be fighting 2-3 times a year. But I think the problem is they get paid so much that there's no need for them to fight more than once. I think both guys get paid such big money, and maybe they don't bring as much commercially that they get paid. That's the problem with a lot of boxers now. They're the top level boxers. They don't bring as much commercially. And Dana White mentioned this, that boxing is a get out of a business. Get out of a business. Every time they have a big event, it's a get out of business kind of event because they pay these guys such ridiculous money, but the show's not really making that kind of money. So I understand why Dana White does what he does, because Dana White said, I'm running a business. I'm not just gonna pay my fighters ridiculous money because it's not making as much money. Now, Dana White does pay his top fighters, the ones that bring a lot commercially, a lot of money, like Conor McGregor. He gets loads of money. I think he was saying one of his fights. I remember he was saying he got 50 million for one of his fights. Now I don't know if that's entirely true, but McGregor brings a lot. So Dana White probably won't have any problem because Dana White knows that this event is going to bring a lot of money. Dana White wouldn't do that for every fighter because Dana White wants to run a business. He doesn't want to pay ridiculous money when the guy's commercial worth isn't worth that. Dana White probably pays his fighters what they're commercially worth. And we think that Dana White's actually underpaying. No, Dana White's actually paying his fighters the value that they're worth. Because as good as some of these... Because you don't get paid for how good you are. You get paid for how many bums on seats you put. That's really what it is. Because at the end of the day, you could be the greatest fighter in the world. But if nobody's coming to see you, if you're not putting bums on seats, then why are you getting paid? Because effectively, that's what's bringing in the money. And if you're not putting bums on seat, then why should you be paid ridiculous amount of money? So I feel that a fighter should be paid his worth. But a lot of these guys in boxing are probably getting paid more than their actual worth commercially. And Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is a fight which they'll deserve every penny, because the boxing hardcore fans will be invested. And there's going to be a lot of people tuning into this fight. So, and this is why it didn't make sense to me that these two won't fight each other. But the problem is, these two were making so much money that really the promoters were going to have to pay them a lot more for them to fight each other. But again, commercially, will this show make a profit? I don't know. Now, Tank v Ryan Garcia made a profit, but that's because both guys have a huge, probably a bigger following. Especially Ryan has a massive following on social media, so that would have helped. That would have helped pay-per-view. So, in my opinion, I'm not sure whether these guys are going to do the same pay-per-views that Ryan Garcia and Gervonta did, just because I think those guys probably have a bigger appeal. So let's see. But I'm just glad this fight's made. I'm glad. I'm happy. And let's see who wins this fight. If I'm going to stick a bet, I'm going to say Crawford. But I won't be surprised if Spence wins. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.